Hello everyone. Today, we analyze the primary elections with 10 key takeaways you need to know. Let's start with the 10 most notable points of these primaries. First one, close decisions in the primaries. We have two contests close enough to warrant recounts. The most notable is State Senator John McGuire's race, where he declared victory with a 327-vote lead over Representative Bob Good. However, his lead will remain uncertain until all mail-in ballots are counted. Mathematically, it seems unlikely that Good can make up that margin, but we can't rule out any possibility until we see how the mail-in ballots that arrive before Friday's deadline break. 2. Early and mail voting. A party traditionally skeptical of early voting and mail-in ballots is now seeing one of its most contested nominations depend precisely on these methods. When vote counting in the Good-McGuire race ended on Tuesday night, Good still had hopes due to the early votes and mail-in ballots yet to be counted. Virginia's liberal laws allow mail-in ballots to be counted as long as they are postmarked before the election day deadline, similar to how tax returns are handled. So Good has to wait and hope that these mail-in ballots can give him the victory. 3. The Trump factor. Our third takeaway focuses on the impact of Trump's endorsement. McGuire, a Trump-backed candidate, ended up relying on one of the few places Nikki Haley won in the March presidential primaries. For most of the vote count, McGuire led by a narrow margin. Good briefly took the lead after Lynchburg reported its results, but McGuire saw his already narrow lead shrink further. In the end, Albemarle Republicans favored Good, but not enough to change the final outcome. This shows how complex electoral dynamics can be and how endorsements from prominent political figures can influence the results. 4. Vote geography. From a geographical perspective, one reason Good seems to have lost is his failure to establish a solid base in the heart of the 5th District, specifically in Danville and Pittsylvania County. McGuire won 62% of the vote in Danville, winning the city by 411 votes. In Pittsylvania County, McGuire got 56% of the votes, winning the county by 697 votes. This type of advantage in key areas can be decisive in a close contest. It's also interesting to note how McGuire had a slightly higher percentage in Powhatan County, which is right next to his home county Goochland, where he got 61%. What's surprising is how Good was widely outperformed in Danville and Pittsylvania, areas that could have been crucial for his victory. 5. Dominance in home areas. Let's move to our fifth takeaway, focusing on how candidates performed in their home areas. McGuire dominated in his home area more than Good. McGuire got 61% in Goochland County, while Good only reached 56% in his home county, Campbell. This may be due to a range of factors, such as voter familiarity with McGuire in his state Senate district, which includes parts of 11 counties, 10 of which are in the 5th District. McGuire beat Good in 7 of these counties, demonstrating his strong presence and support in his home area. Even in the 3 counties he lost in his state Senate district, he lost by very narrow margins, such as in Appomattox County, where the difference was just 3 votes. McGuire's ability to secure his home base was a key factor in his success. 6. High primary turnout. These Republican primaries had the second highest turnout in the state's history, with 62,495 voters, only surpassed by the 2014 primary in the 7th District, where Dave Bratt ousted incumbent Eric Cantor, attracting 65,021 voters. This level of turnout demonstrates high interest and engagement from voters in these elections, which could reflect greater mobilization and the growing importance of these primaries to the electorate. 7. Impact of Trump's endorsement. Trump's endorsement was crucial in these primaries. Without his support, it's likely McGuire wouldn't have won. Trump not only endorsed McGuire but also made a fairly harsh criticism of Good. This enthusiastic support from Trump, along with the additional resources and money channeled to McGuire, gave him a crucial edge. Similarly, Trump's preferred candidate for the U.S. Senate nomination, retired military officer Hung Cao, scored a landslide victory. Although Cao also had more financial resources than his opponents, Trump's endorsement definitely played a key role in his success. This shows how the influence of prominent political figures can shape election outcomes. 8. Hung Cao's victory. Our eighth takeaway pertains to Hung Tao, who, despite making derogatory remarks about some communities, wasn't heard at the polls. For instance, he suggested that Staunton was a fool, yet he still received 57.95% of the votes there. He said Abingdon was too far to drive for a campaign for him, yet he got 53.67% of the votes in that locality. Even in Pittsylvania County, where the local Republican committee posted that Cow hadn't visited the county, he won with 53.91% of the votes. Cow won all localities in the state and was never seriously threatened, showing that his comments didn't significantly affect his support among voters. 9. Internal conflicts. Internal battles within the Republican Party were reflected in these primaries. The race between McGuire and Good seemed to pit two MAGA world candidates against each other, though with different nuances. Some commentators describe this as a contest between big government conservatives and constitutional conservatives. This internal conflict was also seen in local races. In Lynchburg, Republicans on the city council have been divided between two different factions. On one side are council members Marty Misjuns and Jeff Helgeson, and on the other are Mayor Stephanie Reed and Vice Mayor Chris Faraldi. In Roanoke County, Supervisor Tammy Shepherd, a more conventional conservative, narrowly defeated school board member Tim Greenway, who is more of a culture warrior. These divisions reflect the different currents within the party and how they can influence election outcomes. 10. Effective independent candidates. The race for the Roanoke Council has become more interesting with the entry of two independent candidates. Evelyn Powers, who has won 5 elections as a Democrat, and Kathy Reynolds have presented themselves as independents. This is the first time in a decade that Roanoke Democrats haven't nominated a woman for the council, which could influence the electoral dynamics. If Powers splits the Democratic vote, it could benefit Republican candidates Nick Hagan and Jim Garrett. The candidacies of Powers and Reynolds could significantly change the expectations and results of this election. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it and want more content like this, subscribe to our channel and give it a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep going. See you next time.